This guy went to a friend's house for dinner. Everything was chill until the milk came out. It was a really big family. They were at the table, it was loud. Every single person there gets a glass of milk. And milk for you, 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 milk for me. Bruh. Well, then it starts getting weird. The dad reaches over and grabs his son's milk. Hey son, let me see your cup. I'm done with mine. And he pours his leftover milk into his son's cup. Then the mom decides she's done with her milk, so she pours her milk into her daughter's cup. And this just keeps going. When everyone decides they're done drinking milk, they pour it into somebody else's cup. So like milky backwash just rotating through everybody. Now the guest, he's just like, what is going on here? If someone finishes their milk and they want more, I want some more milk, mom. Oh, that's perfect. I'm done with mine. I'll give you it. She just pours it into his cup. At this house, milk does not get wasted. It does not get poured down the sink. It gets recycled. And if everybody at the table is done with their milk, but there's still milk in the cups, they pour that milk back in the carton. And my friends, that is absolutely disgusting. This is nuts. So one day, this kid slapped another student with a ruler. Hey, Billy. Everybody laughs. Even he did. Nobody gets in trouble. Well, for some reason, witnessing this kid slap another kid with a ruler ignited something in them. Because the next day, tons of kids came to school with their own rulers of all different kinds. Wood ones, metal ones, plastic ones. And just like that, the hallways turn into medieval combat zones. My turn! Mr. Kevin, no! Milk. School staff started confiscating rulers from everybody, but there was so many kids with rulers, it was very hard to do so. And just like that, another ban. The school banned rulers. If anybody was caught with a ruler, it was taken and they would get a detention. If they were caught 3 times with a ruler, they would get suspended. Now you might be asking, hey, Elliot, what about the classes where rulers are required, like geometry or something? Well, those teachers would pass the rulers out at the beginning of class and collect them at the end. But still, these kids must have been obsessed with rulers, because that sounds crazy. It started small. This kid brought a few things from home that day. A headphones, a hoodie, and some random collectibles. And somebody jokingly goes, I'll trade you my Jordans for those headphones. He says, okay. And that's the moment it clicks. The next day he comes to school and that duffel bag he brought of stuff is heavier. And he starts telling people during lunch to meet him in the bathroom. And everything he had was up for trade. Okay guys, line up. Here's what I got. What do you got? And the value is negotiated right there on the spot. A hoodie for a watch for AirPods for a portable speaker shaped like SpongeBob SquarePants, a portable speaker shaped like SpongeBob SquarePants for a porcelain plate that someone stole from their grandma's house that's worth a lot of money. Okay, I think we all did good today. We happy? Yep. Perfect. Milk. By week 3, there's a huge line of people holding random objects trying to trade with this kid, because the best part is you were never sure what he was gonna bring. Some of the stuff that was traded included shoes in a plastic bag, electronics, gift cards, jewelry. Bro, that's a PlayStation 5. I know. Now say you wanted something nice, but the thing you had to trade didn't equal the value. Okay, I'll trade you this for that, but tomorrow you gotta bring me something else to make it even. Deal. So now there's credit on the line, and that's when it gets dangerous, because if someone didn't follow up with their end of the deal, there was arguing, fights, full-blown bathroom brawls, and then came the bandits. Bigger kids that stormed into the bathroom one day and stole everything. Hey Pipsqueak, give us the stuff. And knew I should have hired security. That's another lesson. Always hire security. The school then gets involved in a pretty major way. Suspensions, confiscations, meetings with parents who are finding out for the first time that their kid traded their family heirloom for a frickin' SpongeBob speaker. That bathroom was closed down for the rest of the year. But nobody ever forgot that underground trading post in the school bathroom.
Welcome to the Black Market School Project. Going to school can be a real pain, but you can make some frickin' money. The problem I see with most schools is they don't teach kids about the frickin' hustle. For example, does your school not sell a popular soda like Dr. Pepper? Boom, opportunity. Go buy a 12-pack of Dr. Pepper for like $7. Get to school early and sell those for $1 each. If you do that every single day for a year, you make about $1,400. Start your own black market at school. You might get shut down, but that's the risk of business, baby. If you aren't hustling, what are you doing? Senior prank stories. This one senior class had a prank idea. They were going to go into school one day and everybody would start throwing water balloons at each other. Well, the dean heard about this and said if anybody's caught doing that, they'll be banned from graduation. So of course, everybody was scared. The prank they did instead was that at a random time during the day, the entire student class would just sit on the floor. That's frickin' lame. Well, there was one senior in this class that wanted to bring it to a whole different level. He filled up a water balloon with mayonnaise, and then he threw the mayonnaise balloon at the windshield of a bus. The entire windshield was shattered and he was arrested. Weirdest toys of all time. The toy you're about to see is pretty strange. It's a unicorn and a person, but the thing is, the unicorn has impaled this person with its horn. You tell me, would you want this toy? Black markets kids ran in their schools. When this person was in elementary school, there was a kid named Terrence. And Terrence had a strange obsession with Snickers bars. Every conversation had with Terrence usually ended up with Terrence asking if you had a Snickers bar to trade. He said he would do anything for a Snickers bar. So it got to the point where kids were bringing Snickers bars into school every day, just in case they needed a favor from Terrence. And Terrence's business was this: if you brought him a Snickers bar, he would do your homework. The person who shared this story with me said Terrence could sometimes be found at the end of the day walking around the hallways, pockets stuffed with Snickers bars, smiling, happy, because in his world, he was the king. BJ Novak is known for more than just The Office. Apparently, years ago, somebody uploaded this picture to the public domain, which could mean that the image is free to use without permission. Well, the image was used, and the products he was featured on might surprise you. He was on a beard trimmer box, cologne, some more clippers, face paint, and this last one's my favorite, a raincoat. Well done. Black markets kids ran in their schools. Another follower submission. Again, this one isn't really a black market, but listen up. He told me in 9th grade, him and 2 of his friends started to throw parties. They would find someone's house to do it at first, and then they would begin planning. At the start of this, they would charge $10 for a wristband, and if you showed up to the party with the wristband, you would get in. Well, the bracelets they would give out when someone bought them had a symbol you can only see if you held a black light over it, and every party, there was a different symbol. They did this so kids didn't go out and buy their own bracelets so they could get in for free. The party started going crazy. They then upped their prices and started charging $20 for a bracelet, and then $40. And then they hired their friends to DJ the parties. They were making bank. And if the parties ever got too crazy, they would call the cops on their own party. And because it wasn't their own house, they would just leave. Some shady stuff, but he told me they made so much money. Dumbest school projects of all time. This one person's elementary school science project was, what temperature do ladybugs prefer? And the teacher required the students to take 4 mason jars, all of them full of ladybugs, and place them in different locations. The kitchen counter, the front porch, the refrigerator, and the freezer. And they were supposed to be observed every day for 2 weeks. Well, obviously, every single ladybug died. Some lived longer than others, but one thing was certain. Ladybugs prefer not to be put in a freezer. Black markets kids ran in their schools. This one's kind of weird. During this time, they had just gotten done learning about cavemen, and a bunch of them thought it would be a great idea to start their own prehistoric clan. They would smash rocks and use them to sharpen tree branches. Some of them were so good at it, they would use the walls as grindstones, and they were able to sharpen 6 sticks in half an hour. So their business was, every day at recess, they would sharpen a bunch of sticks and give them to other kids in exchange for wild berries. Send this video to somebody that loves raccoons. Hi, I'm going to show you a picture of a lamp, but it's not an ordinary lamp. It's a raccoon lamp, and I want to ask you, would you want this lamp? Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. When this kid was in middle school, he ran a study guide business. And these weren't your run-of-the-mill study guides. These were well-detailed, easy-to-follow documents that covered all the major tests and quizzes for the whole school. He had a group of students working for him, called the contributors. They would help him write and construct these study guides. And he sold these study guides for $10 to $20, depending on the test. He also hired some of the bigger kids in school to be the muscle. The muscle kept the blacklisted kids from playing any playground games like basketball or soccer. Now, kids could be blacklisted for a number of reasons, like borrowing a study guide and never paying back what's due, or for lending the study guide to any non-paying individual. This guy was actually nice enough to send me screenshots of the documents he actually used when he ran this business. This is his terms and conditions that came with every single study guide. Feel free to pause to read. And this, I guess, was the blacklist Excel sheet. It had the names of blacklisted students and the reason that they're blacklisted. This dude even had an employment contract for every single one of his employees. This is the stuff in the contract. This guy was efficient. He made about $100 a week. $600 a week for the bigger tests, like the World War II test. All I can say is for middle school, this is one hell of a business. Black markets kids ran in their schools, follower submission. When he was a sophomore in high school, he had the idea to start selling Powerade bottles out of his football locker. His teammates would always buy one after practice and he was doing pretty well. But then he wanted to expand his business. So he started buying bags of chips and making homemade burritos at home. He then brought them to school and sold Powerade bottles for $2 each, chips for $1 each, and burritos for $3 each. Or you could buy them all together, the chips, the burrito, and the Powerade for just $5. This went on for 2 years. Nobody snitched and business was booming. He made about $5,000 and then COVID hit and everything shut down. People are selling their imaginary friends on eBay. You heard that right. People are and have been selling their imaginary friends on eBay. Now, most of them are probably doing this as a joke, like this girl here, who's selling her imaginary friend that's in very good condition. But check this out. In 2007, an eBay user named the Wild and Crazy Ollie listed his imaginary friend on eBay. He included this picture. He said this picture was of his imaginary friend and his imaginary friend's friend. Well, people started bidding, and this dude's imaginary friend sold for $2,750.
In elementary school, this guy had one friend. I have one friend. It's me. But the thing is, this kid got bullied a lot. So whenever his friend hung out with him at school, his friend would also get bullied. Dude, whenever I hang out with you, your bully also bullies me. I know, I'm sorry. So they made a rule. They wouldn't hang out at school. They wouldn't hang out at recess. They weren't friends in class. They only hung out after school where nobody could see them. That's messed up. So at school, this kid was pretty much alone. Well, one day during recess, a popular kid asked him if he wanted to kick a ball around. Hey bro, you want to play kickball with me? Sure. This was completely out of nowhere. He was shocked. This never happened to him. Well, they started actually having fun. That's when the popular kid said this. Dude, this is fun, man. You're not as bad as your friend says you are. What? Turns out that kid's friend was bullying him behind his back, starting bad rumors about how bad of a guy he was, being a complete two-faced jerk. He stopped talking to his friend altogether, even after school. And he actually became pretty good friends with the popular guy. Hey, what's up, Carl? Bro, leave us alone, man. We're having a conversation. Yeah, jerk. What a horrible friend. After class one day, a teacher tells him, tomorrow I need you to come to my office hours. Oh, like right after school? Yes. And he's actually excited. At home, he tells his mom, I got a thing for class tomorrow after school. He tells her it's office hours, and he thinks it's a party. Ooh, office hours, that sounds fun. Let's go to Costco, we'll have you get some cookies to bring. So they go to Costco, she buys some cookies, chips, some plates. Next day after school, he's walking down the hallway with a plastic bag full of these snacks, and he's excited. He knocks on the teacher's door, smiling, and he goes in. I didn't know how many people were coming, so I brought extra. What? She looks at the food, looks at him. What are you talking about? Office hours. She closes the door quietly and says, we're here to talk about your failing grade. It's not a party? No. He sits down, defeated. He talks to the teacher and they have a plan to fix his failing grade. And as he's about to leave, all right, well, thanks. I guess I should go do my homework. Wait. I can't let you waste all the food. Let's bring out the cookies and the chips. Let's have a little party, just us two. Okay. And for the next 15 minutes, they sat there and ate cookies and chips and just chatted like two human beings. And then he went on his way. Hey, actually, that's a good teacher. Every night at 8 p.m., this kid's parents would shut off the internet. Didn't matter what he was doing. And to turn it back on, you had to have the password. Homework, group projects, whatever, it didn't matter. At 8 p.m., the Wi-Fi was getting shut down. At first, he's mad, like this is not fair, but then he realizes the neighbor's Wi-Fi signal is very strong, and they're very old, so there wasn't a Wi-Fi password. He begins doing his homework on their Wi-Fi by his bedroom window. Okay, perfect. It works. But then like winter hits and the signal gets worse for some reason. Dang it, connect, send! Don't! He starts getting closer and closer to the neighbor's house. He begins sitting on his front porch, then outside their windows. This goes on for weeks. Sometimes the signal's better, sometimes it's horrible. Until one night, the signal was very bad, so he was sitting directly underneath their bedroom window. He didn't know it was their bedroom, but another neighbor saw it. What is that creep doing? And yeah, I guess it would look pretty creepy, this dude sitting outside the neighbor's window with a laptop. In the dark, the police get called, the cop shows up, he explains to them, I'm using their Wi-Fi. Mine gets cut off at 8 p.m. by my parents. I have homework to do. Cop's not even mad at him. He's like, Where are your parents? The parents come out. The cop says, you shut off the Wi-Fi at 8 p.m.? He's got homework to do. Look what he's doing! He shames the parents. And the parents are very embarrassed because, yeah, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Nobody gets in trouble that day, and the parents stopped turning the Wi-Fi off. That's just wild. You didn't leave the table until you finished your plate. The kid usually just tries to power through it, but he's tired. He doesn't want to do this anymore, so instead he pretends to take bites and he puts the food into his pocket. Then after dinner, he sneaks upstairs, but he doesn't throw the food in the garbage because he's paranoid. He thinks his parents will find it and realize what he's doing. So instead, he hides it in the vents of the house. Didn't matter what food it was either. Mashed potatoes, chicken, vegetables, fish. Every night, a little bit more. Stuffy, the foodie. But his plate's always clean after dinner and his parents are happy. He's like, this is a solid deal, cowabunga baby. Well, a week and a half go by and yeah, the house begins to smell horrific. His parents think there's a dead animal in the attic. They hire someone to come look, but there's no dead animal. Then they have the carpets cleaned, then the walls cleaned. The last thing they got checked was the vents. The guy pulls it open, he's looking. Yeah, there's a bunch of old rotten food in the vents. And everything kind of comes to light. The parents find out what the kid's been doing, but they feel bad. They're like, oh my God, we were forcing you to eat. You weren't hungry, you shoved the food in the vents. We're horrible parents. Well, maybe, kinda. Why would you force your kid to eat? Regardless, that rule stopped, and the house still smells a little bit like fish.
It's March. The school goes into one of those lockdowns where the police bring in these dogs to sniff around the lockers looking for some sort of illegal substances. Every classroom door is locked. There's no bathroom breaks allowed. Well, one kid in this class is visibly unwell. Oh. Pale, he's sweating. The teacher notices and goes over to him. What's wrong? The kid whispers back. Do you think the dogs would go to my locker? The teacher kind of pauses. Do you have something to be worried about? Kid nods yes and says, there's a ham and cheese sandwich in there. Extra mayonnaise on. The teacher's confused. That's not a problem. You're allowed to have food. The kid says, I know, but it's been in there since September. 6 months. 6 months this sandwich has been in the locker, and the kid is so worried about it, I'm pretty sure that sandwich smelled. This kid wasn't afraid of getting expelled. He was afraid that the dogs were going to uncover this weird biological event that was growing in his locker for 6 months. Luckily for him, the dogs didn't go by his locker, and nobody uncovered the sandwich smell. But that teacher never forgot the fear on that kid's face.
Black markets kids ran in their schools. Follower submission. One day, when he was in middle school, a girl was drawing something in class. Well, the teacher wanted to see what she was drawing. And when she went over there, she saw that it was amazing. This girl was an incredible artist. Well, word spread. And suddenly, her business started. Both teachers and students were paying her $20 to $50 to make paintings, drawings, or to create designs on shoes. By the end of 8th grade, this girl made over $1,000, and she is still an artist to this day.
Does this make you uncomfortable? There is a restaurant somewhere that serves up some very realistic looking cakes. Like these right here. That's a potato, right? No. It's cake. But then the video I was watching showed this clip. It's a cake of a pig, and the pig is pregnant. Watch the video.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental.
Dumbest things people got in trouble for at school. When this kid was in 5th grade, he was cutting some paper with scissors. Well, he accidentally cut part of his finger, and blood started going everywhere. That's when the kid sitting next to him began barfing. It was a mess of a situation. The teacher did not respond well to what happened. The teacher threw a band-aid at him and told him and the kid that threw up that they both had to stay after school to clean up the mess and have a detention. That's crazy.
Wildest things that have happened on live TV Part 1. This one took place in 2015. Steve Harvey was hosting the Miss Universe pageant show, and he named the wrong winner. Steve Harvey, get it together.
Miss Universe 2015 is Colombia. I have to apologize. The first runner-up is Colombia. Miss Universe 2015 is Philippines.
Times things were just completely messed up. One person got a tornado warning alert on their phone, and then 2 minutes after that, an alert of shots fired nearby. But then a minute after that, it seemed like Pokemon Go was trying to start some trouble. Look, this catering advertisement is super strange. They cater any event: wedding, graduation, horse funeral, drug intervention, Tuesdays, horse funeral, a quiet night alone, return of gym, anniversary of horse funeral. I wonder if they cater horse funerals. And this dog drawing contest on Facebook. This was first place, and this was second place. I do like the first one better though. Weirdest mannequins of all time. I feel like they were trying to be artsy with this mannequin, but instead they created nightmare fuel. No. This mannequin was found in a store in Germany. Little dude has swagger, I'm not gonna lie. And this guy. Why does he look like that? He should close his mouth, I think. Worst homework assignments of all time. This is a spelling worksheet that a kindergarten teacher gave to her class one day. But if you look closely, some of the words the teacher wanted these kids to know how to spell are gun and rob. That's a picture of a little robber. These guys are kindergartners. This next homework worksheet was given to kids to fill in the correct word of the sentence. This one particular sentence on the worksheet says, "The man blank his dog." And the student has to pick between fit and hit. What? Luckily the kid put in pet and then wrote, "You should not hit dogs." Why would they even make hit an option? That's not right. Another assignment that was given to kindergartners was this one. You had to circle the picture that matched the word. The word was fat, and that's the picture. That is not nice. And once again, these are kindergartners. What is wrong with people? She's ready. How's the baby? You've got yourself a healthy baby and wife. Now get in there. Thank you so much. Hi, baby. Oh my God, she looks just like you. You're going to be so happy. Baby? I'm gonna need you to leave. Is she gonna be okay? Is my wife gonna be okay? He's coding. Push 1 of Epi. Please. Things my old carnival job taught me about carnivals part 7. You definitely know this one. Everyone does. The ladder climb game. It's so hard to climb to the top. Whenever most people try it, they get about halfway and then they flip over and fall down. Well, there's actually a trick to it. If the worker's a cool person, they'll let you do it this way. What most people do is they use the ladder steps to climb up. But that way doesn't work. Instead of using the bars, here's what you do. With your hands, climb up grabbing the ropes. And keep your back feet wide. This keeps your gravity centered, and it should allow you to get to the top with no problems. Craziest things found in fast food. In 2004, a woman was shopping at a Costco in California. She was getting hungry, so she went to the food court and ordered a hot dog. She put the condiments on, sat down, and was ready to dive in. Well, she took 1 bite, and then she felt something hard between her teeth. When she spit it out, she noticed it was a live 9mm bullet that was inside the hot dog. She freaked out, let Costco know, and then she went home. Later that night, she started having severe stomach pain. She was taken to the hospital, and the doctors discovered that she had swallowed another 9mm bullet. That's absolutely insane. How were there 2 bullets in that hot dog? Oh, heck no.
His parents bought a house from a guy that owned a bowling alley, and the garage was stacked floor to ceiling with old wooden bowling pins, like surrounding the garage 10 feet high. So whenever they lit a fire in the fireplace, his dad would say the same thing. "Hey son, go grab me a pin." "Okay, sure thing, Pops." Then his dad would use that wooden bowling pin to start a fire in the fireplace, and to him, that was normal. Bowling pins equaled logs. Well, years later, he's at his first sleepover at his friend's house. It's a cold night, and the friend's dad wants to start a fireplace in the fire. "Okay, everyone, I'm gonna start a fire." Well, this kid sees this as a moment that he can help. He wants to be helpful, so he stands up immediately. "Cool, I'll help. Where do you keep your bowling pins?" Bro, what? They were all confused, like, "What do you mean, where do you keep your bowling pins, you freaking weirdo?" The dad finally laughs and explains to him that people can just use logs to start a fire, not bowling pins. And that's when it hit him. He was the weird one. His entire childhood fireplace experience was insane. And then he watched his friend's dad light a regular log in the fireplace, and he was disappointed. Because he said, "Bowling pins, they burned better." That's crazy. She's 20 years old, still living at home. She's in college. That's me. She's got 5 younger siblings. Almost every single day, she is the one cooking, cleaning, and driving the kids around. In this house, that's just how it works. Well, one night she gets home late. Her class gets done at 7:30. Normally she's home by 8, but on this day she stayed to talk to the professor a bit. No big deal, right? But she came home late. Walks in the house around 9:15. I cannot believe you. Her mom is super mad. The sink's full of dishes. There's no dinner. One of the kids had to be picked up from practice by somebody else. The mom says, "You are absolutely useless." Excuse me? Her feelings were obviously hurt because she is definitely not useless. She does so much for her family every single day. Well, after her mom said that, she didn't fight. She just went right to bed. The next morning, she doesn't wake anybody up like she usually does. She doesn't drive anybody to school. And she doesn't make dinner that night. And then she does it again and again and again. And the house starts failing. Dishes are piling up, laundry doesn't get done, kids are missing school. Now everybody's angry at her. This is your fault. This is your fault. Useless. Milk. She realized all these things she was doing were expected of her. And when she stopped doing it, nobody stepped up to take over. They blame her. And shortly after that, she moved out. And her family hasn't talked to her since. That's messed up. When he was 10, his grandpa asked him, "What do you want for your birthday?" And he says, "A brick." "A brick? Why?" "Because my parents still have the super old TV. If I throw a brick at the TV, we'll have to get a new one." Oh, I'm just kidding. Maybe just some Pokemon cards or something. The grandpa just smiles and nods. A couple months later, this kid's birthday comes around, and there's a beautifully wrapped present on the table. Heavy, perfect corners. The kid opens it. Inside was a single brick. The grandpa's losing it. "You're crazy. I can't believe you remembered." And the grandpa leans in and says real quiet to him, "Wait till your mom's in the kitchen and then waste the TV." So the kid's mom goes into the kitchen to grab the cake. The kid takes the brick, smashes it in the TV. TV is destroyed. What happened here? Now we gotta get a new TV. Yes. The grandpa took the blame for throwing the brick at the TV. "I don't know why I did that." Then the kid says, "It's okay, Mom. Please don't be mad at Grandpa. I'll help you pick out the new TV." "Okay, fine. You're right." "It's okay, Pops. You'll be okay. Just sit down and relax. I'll clean this up." The mom then leaves to grab the broom. "Nice work, kid. I love you, Grandpa." What a nice story. This family doesn't do game night. They do drills. Fire drills, earthquake drills, intruder drills, and not because they're paranoid, because they think it's fun. "Okay, guys, fire drill time." "All right, family, earthquake drill." "All right, guys, intruder drill, milk drill." "Go to bed, Grandpa." Each week, a different family member hosts the drill. Whoever's hosting the drill has to make it as real as they possibly can. At first, it started basic. Fire drill was yelling, there was timers and alarm, but then they would get creative. They put out space heaters in the doorways to make it feel hot. They turned the heat up to 90 degrees in the house, even in the summer. They pumped fake smoke from a fog machine. It was nuts. The earthquake drill. They moved the furniture ahead of time. They would blast low-frequency bass through the speakers, makes the house seem like it's vibrating. And they would have their friends come over and slam a bunch of doors to make it seem like the house is falling apart. Now, they would do multiple fire drills, multiple earthquake drills. What they would do is they would just try to improve it every single time they would do it. Now, the intruder drills are where things kind of got out of hand. The son hires a guy to come in the house at 2:14 in the morning. To break in, essentially. Well, he gets there. What does he want me to do? The door's locked. What is that? He tries the windows. They're locked as well. What the heck? This guy's an actor, right? He thought he was doing an acting gig. Then he looks at the second floor window and he sees the kid that hired him. Psst, actually break in. What? So he does. He takes a rock and he smashes the window. And the family, they start screaming. Although they know it's a drill. They're just playing the part. So they know it's a drill. He knows it's a drill. But the neighborhood does not. And the police are called immediately. "Yeah, somebody's breaking into my neighbor's house right now." The cops come and they actually arrest this dude. And he's trying to say like, "No, this is fake. They hired me. They hired me." And the police are like, "Yeah, right." So they take him to the station. The family then shows up to the police station and tries to explain, "Yo, we actually hired him. Here's the messages. This is just a drill." And although that is insane, that sounds kind of awesome.
The death of the American shopping mall is happening right now. I'm sure most of us are aware that shopping malls in America aren't doing so hot right now. With Amazon and other similar businesses booming, malls across America are closing down every day. For example, this abandoned shopping mall is being auctioned off, and this is a mall that's still open. This picture was taken on a Friday night. If this were the 90s on a Friday night, this would be poppin'. It's sad to think about. I spent a lot of time at shopping malls when I was younger, hitting up Spencer's with my friends, and just hanging out trying to look cool. Their glory days are over, but it was nice while it lasted. If your local mall is still open, I recommend paying it a visit, because you'll never know when they pull the plug. Are you a fan of dogs and art? Send this to somebody right now that you know loves dogs and art. Okay, my friends, welcome. I'm gonna show you a picture of a statue, but it's not a normal statue. It has a dog's face. And you tell me, does this make you uncomfortable? Send this video to somebody that has a dog. Welcome to my video. I'm gonna show you a picture of something somebody made for their dog that had recently passed away. It's a coin purse, but their coin purse looks just like their dog that had passed away. And I wanna know, would you do this for your dog? Did you know the original Mr. Potato Head was supposed to be used on a real potato? In the 1950s, you could buy the Mr. Potato Head kit. It came with all the pieces: eyes, mouths, eyebrows, ears, hats, all that good stuff. But you would have to supply your own potato, like this guy right here. And honestly, I like this one better than the real one, because the toy is not a real potato head if it's not a real potato. Just look at that beauty. Weirdest things found in food. 2 Florida residents were shopping at Walmart. They were picking up some spring mix so they can go home and make some salads. Well, they got it, went home, and were super ready to make a healthy meal. But when they opened it, they found something incredibly disturbing. They noticed a dead, decomposing bat sitting in the spring mix. Walmart and the distributors of this product did not know what to do. They recalled every single one of these products, and to this day, no one knows how that dead bat got in their salad. Black markets kids ran in their schools. When he was in 3rd grade, he would sell stretched out, dried up baby wipes, because when baby wipes are dried out, they're very soft. He would tell the kids in his class that he actually sewed these mini blankets, and people bought them for 50 cents each. Eventually, one kid found out that these were just baby wipes. Word spread, and by the next year, he was shut down and canceled.
second year, I'm class 9 এর পোলাবেন প্রেম করে। মামা মায়া তো অস্থির। এক্সকিউজ মি আপু, এক্সকিউজ মি, আপনার নামটা যদি বলতেন একটু।
শুনেন বেঞ্চ সাহেব, আমার বন্ধু দিশান, ঠিক আছে? আপনার বান্ধবীরে
শুনো, মারি নাই তো, শাসন করছি, ভালো লাগে না, একটু মারতেই পারি, তাহলে কিন্তু খুব খারাপ হয়ে যাবে। তুই ভাবিলে সুন্দর করে রিক্সা ডাক।
ভাবি ঠিক আমার বন্ধু দিশান দিচ্ছে, প্লিজ ভাবি আপনি একটু নেন, প্লিজ ভাবি।
দেখেন ভাবি, বন্ধু ধরে না,
আবার কল দে।
এই এই দুলাভাই সামনে থাকলে যে সালাম দিতে হয়, আপনি শিখাই নাই তোরা?
যে কোচিং এর সামনে যে গুন্ডাটা দাঁড়িয়ে থাকে, আমার তো মনে হয় পড়াশোনা সব বন্ধ করে দিবে।
আমি তোর প্রেমের গল্প সাকসেসফুল, আমার কথা বিশ্বাস কর।
আমি যদি একটু প্রেম ভালোবাসাতে, আমি শুধু ওরেই চাই বাবা, আমি ওরে পালি হবে।
ওকে, আমি আপনাকে ভালোবাসি। আচ্ছা, আপনার কাছে একটা প্রশ্ন,
কি রে মাম্মা, কই রে তুই? কতক্ষণ ধরে দাঁড়ায় থাকবো? কনসার্ট তো শুরু হয়ে যাবো।
তাইলে তো বন্ধু রিত লেগে গেল। আরে বেটা এত লাফাইস না, যেরকম শুনতেছি পরীর মতো এরকম করলে তো বেটা যা।
পারলে তো ভালো,
দেখা যাক কি করে শালা।
বোবা, হ্যাঁ কথা বলতে পারো না?
বেঞ্চ সাহেব,
আসসালামু আলাইকুম বিয়ান সাহেব।
এক্সকিউজ মি,
বলে দিবেন যে আমার বন্ধুর সাথে যেন ভালোভাবে প্রেম করে, নাইলে কিন্তু ঝামেলা আছে।
যেদিকে তাকাই তোমায় দেখতে পাই, কিচ্ছু ভালো লাগে না।
বন্ধু
তুই যদি রক্ত দেস?
ভালো লাগে না রে দোস্ত।
না দুলা ভাই, আমি তো কোচিং এ যাই নাই, আমার তো বাসায় গেস্ট আসছে আর আমার আম্মু তো একা, এজন্য আমি যাই না।
আমার পড়াশোনা সবকিছু বন্ধ করে দিবে, তখন আমি কি করব?
আরে ছাইরা দে। কি করবি? সেই না চেহারা, না হলো কি চেহারা, কথা তো বেশি, চেহারা ওজন বেশি।
আপনি না শুই না না দেখা সব জানা ফেলছেন বাবা।
রক্ত লাগবে রে।
রক্ত?
আসবো না মানে?
হ্যাঁ তাই তো শুনলাম।
আসবো না, ঠিক আছে দেখতেছি ব্যাপারটা। যাও।
কি রে, তুই কোচিং এ যাস না কেন?
দোস্ত আমি কোচিং এ কিভাবে যাব বল? এই গুন্ডাটা যে আমাকে ডিস্টার্ব করে, তুই দেখতেই তো পারছস, ডেইলি আমার পিছনে লাগে থাকে।
আমার ভালোবাসার গল্পটা অপূর্ণ রয়ে গেল।
গলবে, পাখির মন গলবে, এমন মন্ত্র দেব।
এভাবে রাস্তাঘাটে একটা মেয়েকে উত্তক্ত করে আর নিজের গায়ে রক্ত দিয়ে
এই এই দুলাভাই সামনে থাকলে যে সালাম দিতে হয়, আপনি শিখাই নাই তোরা?
যে কোচিং এর সামনে যে গুন্ডাটা দাঁড়িয়ে থাকে, আমার তো মনে হয় পড়াশোনা সব বন্ধ করে দিবে।
আমি তোর প্রেমের গল্প সাকসেসফুল না। আমার কথা বিশ্বাস কর।
আমি শুধু একটু প্রেম ভালোবাসা চাই, আমি শুধু ওরেই চাই বাবা, আমি শুধু ওরে পাইলে হবে।
ওকে, আমি আপনাকে ভালোবাসি। আচ্ছা আপনার কাছে একটা প্রশ্ন, আমার তো অনেক ভয় লাগতেছে দোস্ত, এই যে আস্তে আস্তে সব মানুষ জানবে, তারপর আমার ফ্যামিলিকেও জানাই দিবে, আর আমার
এন্ড বেস্ট অফ লাক ফর ডক্টরশিপ। আমি দোয়া করি তুমি যেন একজন ভালো ডক্টর হও।